What if I told y'all that one of boxing's most feared champions once weighed over 260 pounds as a kid, battled addiction and lost everything not once but twice, only to come back stronger every single time? This is the story of David Benavidez, a fighter who wasn't just born in the fire, he was forged by it. Imagine a young boy growing up in the high heat of Phoenix, Arizona, a boy who seemed destined for anything but greatness. David Benavidez wasn't exactly the picture of a future boxing world champion. He was overweight, he was insecure, and struggling to find his place in the world. He tipped the scales at a staggering 260 pounds by the age of 12. Kids teased him, adults doubted him, but beneath the surface of this shy, heavy-set child was a fire waiting to be unleashed. David's family lived and breathed boxing. His father, Jose Benavidez Sr., was a tough but loving trainer, determined to keep his son off the streets. His older brother, Jose Jr., was already a rising boxing star. While Jose Jr. soaked in the spotlight, David was just the other brother, standing in the shadows and fighting a battle of his own with his weight, his confidence, and the pressure of living up to his family's name. One day, his father had enough. Jose Sr. put the gloves on David and told him to prove himself. That was the day everything changed. Boxing became more than a sport. It became his salvation. In the years that followed, David trained like a man possessed. The gym became his second home. He shed over 100 pounds, trading junk food for discipline, laziness for grit. His transformation was nothing short of remarkable. By the time he was 15, he was stepping into the ring to spar with the likes of Gennady Golovkin. Imagine a teenager standing toe-to-toe with one of the most feared boxers in the world and holding your own. The word spread fast. This kid was special. But David wasn't just special, he was different. He didn't have the polished amateur career most champions relied on. He had just 15 amateur fights under his belt before he turned professional at the age of 16. While others doubted him, David didn't care. He had a point to prove, and fists that could prove it. David's professional debut in 2013 was the first glimpse of what was to come. A first round knockout, then another, and another. His combination of devastating power and lightning fast hands quickly made him one of boxing's most exciting prospects. By the age of 20, David Benavidez shocked the world. In 2017, he defeated Ronald Gabriel to become the youngest super middleweight champion in boxing history. The kid who once weighed 260 pounds was now the king of his division. But life at the top wasn't as easy as it seemed. David's meteoric rise was met with equally sharp challenges. Fame, money, and the temptations of youth proved to be the most powerful adversaries. In 2018, David hit rock bottom. A failed drug test for cocaine led to a suspension and the loss of his WBC title. The headlines were unforgiving. The boxing world labeled him undisciplined, reckless, and a wasted talent. For a moment, it seemed like the fire that had fueled David's rise was snuffed out. But champions aren't defined by how hard they fall. They're defined by how high they rise. David owned his mistakes, and instead of running from his failures, he's used them to grow. He trained harder than ever and returned to the ring in 2019 with a vengeance. He reclaimed his title by stopping Anthony Dirrell in a brutal fight that reminded everyone why David Benavidez was special. Then in 2020, another setback. This time it wasn't drugs, it was discipline. He failed to make weight for his fight against Romer Alexis Angulo and was stripped of his title for the second time. The critics circled him like vultures, questioning if he could ever stay focused enough to fulfill his potential. But David didn't give up. He never does. Since then, David Benavidez has rebuilt himself both as a fighter and as a man. His battles outside the ring, his struggles with discipline, addiction, and self-doubt have become the fuel for his fire inside the ring. Each punch he throws is a reminder he's not just fighting for titles, he's fighting for redemption. He's fighting for his family, and he's fighting for the kid he used to be, the kid that no one believed in. Today, David Benavidez stays undefeated, one of the most feared fighters in the super middleweight division. His rivalry with Caleb Plant captivated the fans. His upcoming bout with David Morrell has us on the edge of our seats, and the possibility of a showdown with Canelo Alvarez still looms in the horizon, a fight that could define his legacy. But maybe David's greatest fight isn't against another boxer, it's against himself. His story is proof that greatness isn't about never failing. It's about rising every single time you do. From the shadows of his brother's success to the bright lights of championship glory, from the mistakes of his youth to the man he's become, David Benavidez is a phoenix who continues to rise again and again. His story isn't just about boxing. It's about the power of perseverance. It's about believing in yourself when no one else does. And it's about fighting, not just to win, but to inspire. Thank you very much for listening, you guys. If you like what I do, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know who you'd like me to do next. My name is Boxing Maestros. Thank you for listening, and have a good one.